Hello everyone, welcome back to Solasta Crown of the Magister. Last time we went out looking for another gem but found ourselves unable to connect with any kind of magical signals from them. Going back to the council, they were deliberating what should be done next, and when we went to rest that night we were told by Headland Surespell here that we should not go to our palace residence and instead rest here in the tavern. And when we woke up, we were informed that our palace residence was ransacked. So we've come back up to Headland Surespell to see what he knows about the matter.
Ah, here you are.
Do you find our visit surprising, Master Surespell?
No, not at all, since you followed my advice.
How do you know that?
You're here, alive and unwounded. I heard there was some disturbance at the residence.
Is that so?
But clearly you're here for business, not small talk.
I mean, yes. Are you going to have business conversation with us?
Clear skies, adventurers.
We do require your services.
Okay, interesting that there's not more plot there. I thought we would have gotten some further conversation out of that, but hey-ho. So we will leave that there then, and with that done, no way back, go to the council to learn about their decision. Simple enough, I suppose. Let's do the walk. Let's see if anything else funky is going to happen here in town on our way. If I can find the exit of this tavern. There we go. So if you missed it, last session we found out that we are now entering the final chapter of the game. I don't know quite exactly how long that's going to last, but any outstanding side quests that we hadn't completed were marked as failed. And we've found out that Arten Merton, is that his name? Is making preparations to possibly come with us to go and find some magical things out in the wider beyond. Why is there a sword just on the ground there? Peculiar, but sure. We're just going to head up here. Is that the princess? No, that's a priest. That's fine. And assume visiting up here is going to be where we need to be. And that it will do some kind of a cutscene when we get there.
Honourable delegates, please be seated. The Legacy Council is now in session. Chancellor Gormsdotter has the floor.
Thank you, Protector. Honorable Council members, we at the Guild of Antiquarians have come to an agreement regarding the quest for the gems of the Crown of the Magister. We believe that the crown should be secured, and therefore surrendered by its current owners, in exchange for a generous payment, raised by all parties in the Council.
You can't!
You will wait for your turn to speak, Senior Deputy.
We searched the Badlands for these gems, and now you're just taking the crown away from us?
Order!
We are well aware of your reservations, and we understand them. Yet, from what I heard, all parties have agreed that you should comply, for the security of all.
Security? You talk of security? What security? Just last night, Sorax attacked our quarters in the residence.
What?
Sorax? Here in Kir Kiflin?
In the palace?
Order!
Immediate action is needed.
Well, find the damned Thorax then.
Please, my lords.
You! Where are your paladins?
Where are your wizards and their divination spells?
Stop it! None of this is helping. Lord Sunblaze, you're supposed to be neutral here. Someone must introduce a formal request.
Right. Apologies. You're right. Let's vote. Only senior members, please. Those for securing the crown, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Nay. Nay.
Well, we have a majority.
We'll help you with the attunement issue.
Whoa, wait! Who's gonna take the crown, and where? Well, the most secure location would be the Temple of Aina, of course. The Hearth. Of course! Right here in Caer Kiflin. Neutral ground, of course, but still, the Principality of Masgarth is the center of Solasta.
Do you have a better idea, Dean Fasek?
We have secure locations too. How many high-ranking paladins in your tower, Fasek? More than actual wizards in your school.
Order! Remember the dignity of your positions, my lords. Senior deputies, if you please. The council has spoken.
Well, this is a decision, isn't it? Pastel, the very sensible, we must obey the council. Gothic, knowing it's a mistake because he's attuned to the crown. Kite, just calling them stupid. And Faith, noting that someone here probably isn't all that they seem. And I'm inclined to go with Faith on this one.
You keep bickering instead of looking for the traitor among you.
This is a grave accusation, Senior Deputy. Thank you, honored delegates. The council is now in recess.
So are we making a runner with Merton?
How could they?
It can't end like this.
I can hear it calling.
Senior deputies, please, a word.
Summer, what do you want? Your Chancellor led the charge against us in there.
I'm truly sorry, but I have some information that might interest you.
I doubt it.
It's about the secret cult of Arivad.
What?
I admit, this is second-hand intelligence, but still...
Speak up.
One of my people saw a man with a tattoo.
The letter A?
Yes. He followed the man all day, and to a gathering that night, in a remote village to the south.
What village?
It's called Earcorn. Very small, but you'll find it easily on any local map.
Thank you, Halman.
You're welcome. Someone must take care of these cultists. And the council, well, you know.
Yes, we do.
I'm so sorry.
Why? You didn't betray us.
I understand how they see things, but
Something's wrong with the council.
the council's still young. Everyone is angling for influence. But squabbling academics are better than clashing armies.
Only Ergotine supported us. I mean, beside you.
Why would the new Empire be the only friend we have in there?
Ergotine's a moderate, it's true. But the new Empire is subtle. Plans within plans. It's hard to say whether he was following orders or voting his conscience. I wouldn't read too much into his vote, at least for now. It didn't change anything, anyway. But what about you? How are you coping without the crown?
Better than I expected.
Same for me, actually. It almost feels like we still have the crown.
Exactly. We lost its magical power, but the voice is still calling.
Interesting. So the attunement is unaffected by physical separation?
Keep the crown safe, Marshal, will you please?
You have my word.
So, Gothic no longer has the crown or the spells associated with it in his available equipment. And for the first time in a long time... Oh, I was about to say we're going to have an empty slot here, but no, we have the mark of the crown. Since you've been deprived of the crown, you can't put anything else on your head. It kind of feels like the crown is still here, possibly a side effect of the attunement with this phenomenal magic. How peculiar. What we must remember is that Gothic was one of our revivify sources in previous sessions gone by, which we now don't have. So we need to worry about our priest and cleric for that. Paladin and cleric. Take the road again to Earcorn. Well, without anything else to do, sounds like that is what we'll be doing. Does anyone down this way actually want to converse with us? Arwen Merton's back. Oh, hold on.
Hey, you!
Not drowning in your beer today, Arwen?
No, wait, they took the crown from you?
How do you know that?
Because he's not wearing it.
You really think I'm just a drunk? The whole principality knows you have that crown. I mean, had.
Yeah, indeed.
Something's not right.
You think we need you to tell us?
I mean something's up. Something big.
What? Exactly.
They're here.
Who? The Sorax?
Not them. They're pawns.
You're drunk.
What is wrong with you? Haven't you seen enough? Didn't you see what they can do to people? At first I thought you were just another bunch of brainless council lackeys. But you've seen their ways. In Koperin and plenty other places, I'm sure. The way they get into people's heads. I've watched the people of Caer Kiflin for 10 years. I've felt a change. Slow, subtle. Until now, it's getting stronger, and I can't let them win.
So what? You're ready to become a hero again?
I can still fight.
Are you offering to join us?
You brought back my sword. That blade and I, we've slayed countless abominations down there in the Badlands. You helped me get closure for my lost child. Yes, I'd like to join you.
Very well. I think that 5 is stronger than 4.
Fine. Come with us.
Haha, now you're talking.
So, right before that conversation, I exclaimed, and that is because I just noticed that we had received 10,000 gold pieces. And so, I don't know if there's anywhere we can and or would want to spend that, but the antiquarians contact would certainly be someone to consider. Can we not see Merton's character sheet? Am I going mad? Nope, seems like we can't, but we can see some of his stats. 102 HP, 16 AC. Opens from the inventory screen from which you can access character information, except we can't currently. Gatekeeper, advantage on death saving throws, that's what everyone has from one of the auras. And we can attack with our longsword for 1d8 plus 4 damage plus 1d10 radiant. And attack again, perhaps, as a bonus action. But with all of this cash, let's see if there is anything else we want to buy from our contact here, because they have the
Clear
big
skies,
magical
my friends.
stuff.
We do require your services.
So we have Brotherhood, not the top tier level. So unfortunately we're still unable to get the tomes, which would have been very useful. What else do we have around here? Immune to disease, oil of sharpness, Piripat of proof against poison, endless quiver, but for plain arrows not so useful. Cloak of Elvenkind, advantage on dex stealth checks. Cloak of Protection requires attunement. Could be good for somebody, but I'm not quite sure who, given that they need attunement, and we've all currently got 3 attunements going. Circlet of Blasting. Cast Scorching Ray once. Who's not wearing any kind of helmet? Faith's not, and Pastel's not. So there's no reason why we wouldn't buy this and equip somebody with it, if it gives us one more option. Braces of Sparkles, Boots of the Winterlands. I'm looking for stuff that doesn't require attunement, which I don't think we can filter for here, unfortunately. Set your con to 19. Handy haversack. Right, it looks like it's just going to be the Circlet of Blasting for us today. I'll take... Oh, yeah, just the Circle of Blasting. Slippers of Spider Climbing. Faith is currently attuned to this. Resistance to poison damage, can move along walls, cannot be restrained by webs, cast Pass Without Trace once. If we took Slippers of Spider Climbing, we could equip a different cloak. +1 to all saving throws, +1 to AC would not be a bad one to have. But we may well want to cast Pass Without Trace on ourselves moving forward. But hey, we can buy this and take it with us. That's not going to cause us a problem. And is there anything else we want to sell? We can sell some leather armor. This is a staff that we're probably never going to use. All of these rare gems, I've been hoarding them just thinking that they might be components for spells or something, but never seemed to occur. But hey, let's conclude that trade. Faith, if you would like to put on that circlet, we'll hold onto the Cloak of Protection in case we want to swap out. So we can now cast Scorching Ray once per dawn. But hey, every action and option counts. I hope that Arwen learns to walk at some point, otherwise that's going to be very distracting. But hey, let's get to where we're going, which is a small town to the south. It's going to be a regular trip on foot, so we'll travel out of here. And I wonder how many days travel it will be. Hopefully not more than 2 or 3, I'm sure. And what are we going to find at Earcorn, other than just a whole bunch of cultists? I don't think cultists and Sorax really have had too much in common so far, have they? There's Earcorn. Just 1 day's travel. I guess we're starting with a good rest. I keep wondering if we might suddenly be ambushed on one of these journeys.
This is it? Earcorn?
Look, a farm. And another. High adventure. I love it.
This doesn't exactly feel like the headquarters for a massive invasion.
But it could be hiding a small group of infiltrators. Let us examine the area in search of clues.
What? No tavern? That's suspicious for a start.
That was my line.
Shut up. We're trying to be stealthy.
Alright, well, if we're trying to be stealthy, we may as well be cautious, and we may as well cast Pass Without a Trace on us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Proceed. How much use that's going to be in this bright daylight, I'm not sure. But you can only imagine that from where we are, trouble will soon find us. I'm not even sure what we're looking for in terms of just generic clues. I guess we can hold the Alt key down and it'll tell us when we find something that we can interact with, like a chest or a barrel. There's just plumes of dust. And a lot of plants. So, Join me next time. We'll find out if there's more to these plants that meets the eye, or whether it's something behind them that we should be worried about. And we'll continue progressing on to see where the plot may well start tying up, but who knows? Not me, that's for sure. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you're enjoying this series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.